Isaias showing no mercy, roofs blowing off of homes, water turning roads into rivers, rescues a common sight. And tonight, the storm may be out of here, but the flooding threat remains as the cleanup begins. This is The 6. Pounding rain, damaging winds, tornado warnings left and right. Isaias unleashed its wrath across our area today. The damage is practically everywhere you look. I'm Shayna Humphreys.
I'm Jason Martinez. Your weather authority is also tracking it all for you tonight. Our crews are spread out everywhere across 3 states and many counties tonight. But let's start things off with Kathy with where things stand now.
Jason, we've been watching this since early this morning. Sue Serio and I were on this morning when the storm was moving across the Delaware Valley, and you can see how quickly it moved from Cecil County, Maryland, all the way up through the Poconos. It was a matter of 3 to 4 hours, but they were intense hours, dumping torrential rain, flash flooding, and obviously some hurricane-force winds, even though it was a tropical storm. Right now, the storm is moving toward the north-northeast. It is west of Albany, New York, heading toward Burlington, Vermont, and then into Canada. Here is the rain associated with it. The Doppler radar estimates range from about 2 to 3 inches of rain from Philadelphia south and east. The heaviest rain and that was anticipated actually came right through, between 4 and 7 inches of rain to the north and west of Philadelphia, as was forecast. This going right up through the Lehigh Valley and, of course, created extreme flooding across the region. We still have some flooding concerns with our area's rivers, streams, and creeks. For more on the wind and also that flooding, I'm going to send it over to my colleague, Scott Williams. And Scott, we haven't seen anything like this prior around here between the flooding and the tornadoes.
I mean, Kathy, just really unprecedented to watch how things played out with Isaias throughout the day today. Of course, right now it's situated about 20 miles west of Albany, New York, winds at 65 miles an hour, but movement to the north and east at about 40 miles an hour. So down the shore, the Delaware beaches, wind, that was the primary player earlier today. We had, look at this, LBI, winds gusted over 100 miles an hour. Ocean City saw winds gusting over 70 miles an hour. The good news, the winds have begun to diminish. We're looking at sustained winds 10 to 15 miles an hour right now across most of the area. And look at the gust, only gusting to 24 miles an hour currently as we move toward the Wrightstown area. So we saw all of that rainfall north and west, as Kathy just showed us, pretty much the bullseye sections of Montgomery County, Chester County, Delaware County, Newcastle County, 4 to 7 inches of rainfall. And look at the impacts we're looking at Neshaminy Creek at Langhorne, the Schuylkill River, places like Norristown, moving toward Manioc, watching for that Schuylkill River to crest late tonight, early on Wednesday morning. The Chester Creek at Chester, Brandywine Creek toward places like Chadds Ford, Downingtown, watching out for some problems. The White Clay Creek in and around places like Newark, Delaware, that will be the concern. So it's a lifesaver. Download that free Fox 29 Weather Authority app. You can get the latest on those rivers and creeks as they continue to rise. So yes, Jason and Shayna, that rainfall, it is out of here, but we are still looking at some impacts, and cleanup that is going to be continuing across the area the next several days. Back over to you.
Yeah, it's a big job. Thank you, Scott. We are constantly checking on power outages for everyone in our area, and here's what we have so far. PECO is seeing more than 3,300 outages. That's going up. PSE&G as well. They're up to more than 6,000 outages right now. And Delmarva Power seeing more than 1,500 outages. We will keep checking with each company throughout the night.
All right, let's head down the shore now here at the 6. And Alex George has been in Atlantic City all afternoon. And what a difference a few hours makes, Alex.
Oh, Jason, absolutely. From the looks of it here on the boardwalk, you would have no idea what the tropical storm did just this morning, but you'd also have no idea what the damage looks like just blocks away.
Pretty crazy. Like, you'll look outside, like I can see the ocean from the window shaking, and you can see like all the trees or the leaves, whatever you want to call those weeds out there, just flying like crazy.
A tropical storm ripping through Atlantic City today had some families thinking there was no hope for a fun vacation. But just as quickly as the wind came, it went, leaving behind a beautiful day for some and a lot of damage for others.
At this point, we've got over 300,000 customers who have lost power. We brought in from 13 different states and Canada roughly 2,000 workers to help us, assist us in this restoration.
With calls coming in all day, the storm was ripping off billboards on the side of the Atlantic City Expressway.
It's packing a big punch. It's got 70+ mile-an-hour gusts. This is a much more significant storm event than we've seen in quite a while here in New Jersey.
Things were looking up by the afternoon, but the people enjoying the boardwalk were saying a little prayer this morning.
It felt like the car was, kind of going side to side when we were driving. Even we were on Atlantic Avenue and just had a light, and it felt like the car was trying to lift up. It was a little scary.
But now that they're here, AC crews are downtown making sure the city can build up what Tropical Storm Isaias broke.
Yes, I did feel happy I got here safe.
President of PSC&G, Dave Daly, telling us they are already out fixing some of the outages that they're aware of. Of course, there's info on how to get in touch with them that I tweeted out on my social media handle. Now, Jason, you can just text them and say out, and that's how they find out there's outages. They've got grids everywhere. So here, one of the biggest obstacles people are facing, no power, which means tomorrow, no AC, and that's not good news.
No, I know, but that's an efficient way to communicate. Thank you very much, Alex. And look here, big old tree came down right in the middle of the road there, but luckily everybody's okay. It was taken on Bluebird Road and Holland in Bucks County. You see that tree totally stretching across the whole road there. And so, again, everybody's okay. Nobody was driving by. In fact, looks like there wasn't even any damage to any cars, but could have been worse.
How lucky. All right, Kelly is live in Delaware tonight. And Kelly, some people there, you can hardly tell there's been any damage to their homes. Others, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, Sheena, it's crazy. It honestly varies by each house in this neighborhood. We're in the Dove Run neighborhood. It's off of Main Street here in Middletown. And according to town officials, it was one of the hardest hit areas in Middletown. People we spoke with, especially the family that lives here behind me, say they are so happy they chose to take cover in the basement when they did.
This is mostly our furniture and literally walls that are on the side of the street.
When Michael McConnell said he went back to work Tuesday for the first time since paternity leave, he didn't mean this work, cleaning up the contents that once sat in their second floor of their home, now scattered across their neighborhood.
That's our son's bed, which he was sleeping in 15 minutes before, but luckily my wife grabbed him and brought him downstairs. Otherwise, it might not have been a great outcome.
It sounded like you were in a wind tunnel almost, with super, super loud cracks of thunder.
His wife, Christy, says she rushed her 3-week-old newborn and 2.5-year-old son and 2 dogs in the basement after getting 2 tornado warnings on her phone. She says she never imagined the whipping wind she heard outside would cause this.
It was super, super scary. But luckily we're safe, we're good.
The Dove Run neighborhood off of Main Street in Middletown among the hardest hit in the area Tuesday as Tropical Storm Isaias wreaked havoc across Newcastle County. Richard Griffith's son also had a close call. His bedroom window shattered right after he got out to take cover.
Roofing tiles landed right in his bed that he was sitting in just a few minutes before that. My wife and I have lived down here for 18 years. Never seen anything like us.
Well, this was unbelievable. I've never experienced anything like this, but it just go to show you Mother Nature is very strong.
The McConnell's neighbor's home also saw damage, and another home on Wood Duck Court completely opened up on its side. It's the last thing anyone needs this year in a pandemic. But somehow, these families still say they are lucky.
Stuff can be replaced, kids can't, family can't, so.
So well said. And Middletown police did come out here this afternoon. They went door to door and they told us, fortunately, there are no reports of any injuries here. Pretty incredible given the aftermath, Shayna, but of course, a lot of cleaning up to do. And as I mentioned, not something anybody needs to be dealing with after the year we've had so far.
No, a day, a year, just a period in life. None of us will forget anytime soon, especially those folks. Thank you, Kelly. Well, this is an incredible moment. Look at this. One of our photojournalists, Tina Hogate, caught this great moment in Overbrook. That car was stuck in that high water, and those firefighters came to the rescue of the driver. You can see them get the door open, pick her up, and just swoop her out of there. Surely she was so thankful they were there. Just a beautiful moment, and we're glad she got out all right.
Yeah, thanks to all the first responders out there today who rescued so many. And our Chris O'Connell live in Doylestown, Bucks County here this afternoon. Chris, what's it like there?
Well, Jason, it might not be until tomorrow until officials determine whether or not a tornado came through Doylestown, but whatever it was, it caused some major damage here to a daycare here just off the grounds of a Doylestown hospital. This is what's left of the Children's Village daycare just adjacent to the hospital. You see that gaping hole. Now, inside that daycare, 135 children and a couple dozen teachers, kids as young as 6 months old. They were safely evacuated, get this, to the hospital's radiation vault right next door. Several children were treated for some very minor injuries. They're very lucky. Many children are kids of employees of this hospital. The CEO describes the scene when those winds came in.
I was in my office and I noticed the winds had finally picked up, and I said, wow, the winds are getting, and then I heard that railroad that they talk about, and it just, everything went sideways.
As our people were walking down over here, you could see people rushing over to get the kids, and you've seen a lot of trees down, debris down, people worried about their cars, and it was pretty much mass chaos throughout the hospital.
Now, there was extensive damage to about a dozen cars in the parking lot, some of them being hit with debris, falling light poles in the parking lot. One woman said her gas tank cover just flew off, but again, no major injury. So right now, it's still not determined yet whether or not it was a tornado. There were some telltale signs of that, but the National Weather Service sent out volunteers. They will assess the damage. Most likely we'll find out tomorrow, but whatever it was, caused some very extensive damage here in Doylestown. Jason.
Yeah. But miraculously, everybody is okay, and that's the most important thing. Thank you, Chris.
Well, if it wasn't bolted down, it was floating, and you can see why. Raging waters here in Morton, Delaware County. We'll have more looks around the area coming up. Our team coverage continues.
The shore was not the place to be today. Look at this. This is Sea Isle City, and that rain just pelting, hammering down. Almost looks like snow in this area. So imagine being on the water or anywhere near this area. It'd be dangerous. Really, where was the place to be today? Because it wasn't in our area.
It sure wasn't there. Probably not Allentown as well, but it is the place to be now. Look at it go. The sun is shining. It is dry. The storm is out of here, but here in Allentown as well, there's going to be cleanup for days, if not longer. Delaware County also taking a hard hit today.
Yeah, tell me about it. That is for sure. Joyce Evans now live in Upper Darby. And Joyce, you've seen a whole lot of flooding where you are.
Yes, we have. Not the place to be here then, but it's much better now. However, those sounds of sirens have been replaced by the sounds of power generators. Let me step out here so you can see back here at the McDonald's. They are throwing out, drying out, and just cleaning it up here. Just earlier today, we saw the employees make a run for it to higher ground because they got surrounded by flooding waters. It was rising quickly. Delaware County emergency management officials are telling us that they're calling in the National Guard to help get into those areas where back flooding is going to be a problem. Darby and Upper Darby, as you can see over here, the boarding up has begun, but they're the worst hit in our county. It didn't take long for Marshall Road between Springton and way past 69th Street to turn into a raging river from which few vehicles could escape.
I mean, the current was pretty bad. It's much worse than here, actually.
Where people use canoes to navigate flooded streets filled with all kinds of debris, a moat formed around Delaware County Memorial Hospital for a time.
I actually thought, maybe the tornado hit because we had a tornado warning.
The magnitude of what hit parts of Delaware County was something longtimers here say they've never seen before. Didn't take long for the deluge of rain to sweep any and everything into and on top of storm drains, catching drivers by surprise.
I think they're crazy.
Yeah, they're very brave.
Yeah, I'll give them that, yeah.
Mike and Johnny spent their morning pushing stranded motorists out of the deep end of the overflowing Stony Creek on Morton Avenue in Ridley Township, one of hundreds of water rescues throughout the county. And then, not far away,
just sounded like somebody tearing down a house, actually.
That's exactly what the rain did to the stone siding of Jim Jackson's sister's house in Folsom. Then it proceeded to flood out the inside.
It's bad.
Bad is an understatement around the intersection of State Road and Lansdowne Avenue in Upper Darby. The Bond Shopping Center and almost everything near it quickly became a lake, submerging cars, displacing heavy signs, sending shaken McDonald's employees running to higher ground. Receding water revealed this. Cars lifted and drifted from State Road and the parking lot, slamming them together. Behind that, evidence of the effect of forceful rising and rushing water bursting through storefronts of 3 stores. Take a look inside of the dollar store here as it is just flooded. And what you're looking at now is the Acme at the top of this strip. And guess what? It was the only business here that was not touched. It stayed open, never closed. And guess what? The shoppers never stopped shopping. Some news here, tow trucks have removed that crush of cars that we had right here at the other end of the strip. So that has happened, and you can see the Citizens Bank is also cleaning out and drying out as the cleanup begins here. But they're moving fastly with that. Shayna and Jason.
Joyce Evans in Upper Darby, thank you very much. And this was a problem, a massive tree that uprooted in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. Now, the person that took this video was right there and says that they're so lucky that tree didn't crash through their home or their car. You can see almost the entire yard near the road ripped up because the roots were so massive.
Oh, it almost doesn't even look real that it could just tear up the lawn that way.
Dude, if that would have fell the other...
Well, let's switch gears now. Head over to Kristen Rogers. What's going on in the sports department today, Kristen?
Hey, Shayna. Well, things are a bit quiet today, but the games will be picking back up tomorrow, and that's when we're going to see the Philadelphia Union play next. They've looked so good so far in the MLS is Back tournament, and tomorrow they have a chance to secure a spot in the finals. Now, the Union have a tough opponent standing in their way. It's a veteran-led and championship-winning Portland Timbers team. I caught up with John Strong, who will be on the call for the match tomorrow to discuss what a win would mean for the Union.
So I'm so excited to see how these two teams match up, how these young guys handle the pressure and the intensity. And this is as good a test as any to see, are the Philadelphia Union truly for real? Because there are a few teams in MLS that are more difficult to deal with and certainly that have been playing better than the Portland Timbers right now.
And that game tomorrow is at 8 o'clock down in Orlando. You can watch it right over on FS1. Again, John Strong will be on the call. Well, like we've been saying all newscasts and all day, really, we've all been affected one way or another by the rain and the storms today. So we're trying to give you something to brighten up your Tuesday night. Take a look at this. How about some of your favorite Eagles and newest Eagles showing off their uniforms today? Yes, check out Darius Slay in an Eagles uniform officially for the first time. Will Parks dancing a little bit there. Jalen Mills will be wearing 21 this year in a number change. So if you need something to look forward to, how about the fact that we're getting our first look at really what this Eagles secondary will look like this coming football season. Jason and Shayna.
All right, thank you, Kristen. Let's take you out live now to a very sunny old city, very far cry from how it looked earlier today, right, Kathy?
Absolutely, Shayna, much improved. With the sun out, you would never know we had such devastation across the area. Last hour, I asked my magic 8-ball here, is 2020 going to be improved? Is it going to get better? And guess what it said? No doubt about it. Hope it's right. We'll be back with the 7-day after this.
All right, weather is the focus of the day, and for good reason. This is a live look outside at Westchester right now. Isaias is finally out of here. Good riddance.
See ya. Yeah, it's time for the cleanup now, and that could take days, maybe even weeks. Kathy has your forecast in 15 seconds.
These are uncertain times, and Patriot Home Care is here to help. We are accepting new clients and caregivers remotely and virtually during this time. Be healthy, be home, but if you need us, we are here for you.
Know what's amazing about this storm? When it passed over the Delaware Valley, it had a maximum sustained wind of 65 miles an hour. Right now, Tropical Storm Isaias has maintained that strength, even though it's traveled probably 200-300 miles to Albany, New York. I mean, this is incredible. There's two things that usually kill a tropical system. It's cold ocean water and it's land, and this storm has not weakened. It will, though, eventually. You can see the storm moving toward the north-northeast at 40 miles an hour, and by about 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, it will be in Canada. It will still have 40-mile-an-hour gusts, so that is still tropical storm strength. That storm, once again, it's only 20 miles west of Albany, New York, and continues to race northward. We're looking at the tropical history really quick because I want to show you where we are at August 4th. We are nowhere near the typical peak of hurricane season, which is usually between mid-September and into early October. Right now in Cape May, it is quiet after we potentially had a tornado in the Marmora area. We'll know when the National Weather Service surveys the damage. Right now the temperature is 82 degrees. It's going to be a very nice evening. Temperatures in the 80s across much of the area. Ocean City at 72, Lewis, Delaware at 87. Overnight tonight, lows in the 60s and 70s. Highs tomorrow will be well into the 80s. It's going to be a sunny, hot day tomorrow with quiet weather. On your 7-day forecast, a chance of a scattered shower or thunderstorm Thursday, Friday, Saturday, pleasant Sunday, and then a little bit more unsettled next week. But it just looks like a shower or storm chance at this point. That's the latest from the Weather Center, guys. After an extreme day, it's going to be a nice, quiet evening into tomorrow.
Such an extreme day and a long day, especially for you, the rest of the team that was on air all morning long. Kathy, you guys did such a great job just keeping us all informed.
Yes. I second
Thanks, guys.
that.
All right.
Well
Thanks,
done.
Kathy.
Well done. All right, here's a look at some major rushing water in Redding, Berks County here. This is from Antietam Lake. I don't know if I pronounced that wrong. I apologize, but the water level's very high and the water rushing so fast it created sort of a whitewater rapid situation. And I know there were water rescues, but none that we can mention here, thank goodness. But what a day for all of our area. And I'm just glad it's over, and I know you guys are at home as well. We'll be right back.
That does it for the 6 today. Extra is coming your way next, and then we'll see you right back here tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock.